welcome back to Pommy and Alls. Hope we're all doing really well. If you are new around here, please drop a like, please drop a subscribe. Does mean the absolute world to me. We're smashing subs. We're just about to hit 2,100, which is grouse. Can't thank you enough. You can go a step further and become a member of the channel. The link is for that in the description, and it will be where the subscribe button is once you've subscribed. We do wonderful things like, look, we've just had this come today. Dom McCurry makes his debut for the VFL side, so we'll be keeping an eye out for that. Stay tuned. We'll do a little bit of a watch, maybe a watch along or something about him later in the week. So you can do that. We do wonderful things like that. We're a community, so please do that. And if you are a returning Pommy and Ozza, g'day to you. How good is it? So obviously we're coming on the back of a 12-point win against the Doggies. 2-0. We own this town. My boy Charlie Curnow just taking the pina colada. And it was a real complete game, wasn't it, from the Carlton boys? It was... This, for me, underlined any questions people have about the football club. In the terms of, has it improved? Where are we going? You know, sowing the seeds, killing them of the past, killing the ghosts of the past. I thought, for me, there's a great example of where this club has changed. And I think if you're not looking for it, you have an agenda against the football club and what we're building. Because if you can't see we've changed, fuck me, go and watch bowling. It's a lot simpler. There's less rules. But watch the Lockie O'Brien tackle on Ed Richards' end of the third. His instinct was the David Teague basketball funnel you down the wing. He stepped back, he closed the space and encouraged him. And you saw the old habit was raining hard. Then something clicked and he remembered, nah, we're not soft. We're not a pushover. We ain't a bunch of cowards. And he made that tackle. He switched in and he rammed Ed Richards, the big melt, into the ground like the sack of turd he is. And I think there that is, literally, that video needs to be watched. And that is, literally, us as a football club. What I really enjoyed was what we talked about in the scouting report, the dominance around the centre, how you set up, how you take your marks, how you know how to control the game. For me, at half-time, I said on the watch-along, and thank you all those who watched, they were going to come hard. There was no way they were. They dug in, and you've got to remember at half-time, there was 2 books at play. The Doggies opened their book, chapter 12, what to do when you're getting dipped. And they have an essay, right? And Carlton's is a blank page now. They don't know what to do. And they came hard. And you know what won us that game? Structure, 1, 2, willingness to fight and die for your club. And that's what they did. They worked hard. And Carlton of old would have folded under that pressure. And I've got some stats for you. Let's take a look at it. Here you are. This is the Doggies' same stats. So over 40 points coming from transition. An average of 14 across the AFL. And Carlton were the bottom end for this. We're actually 17th. And that just shows how good we are at soaking up pressure and using it. I thought there was a really important moment when Lockie Plowman came on. And Plowman, love or hate him, I'm going to say something about Plowman. Plowman looks good in a David Teague system where you stand off the man. Now, how Teague's defence works is you stand off and you react. You kind of know you're going to concede possession. You watch why the players are playing a lot better at the moment. It's a ball-first mentality. And that is amplified by Adam Sard, Zach Williams, Mitch McGovern down that back. And Oscar Mcdonald had a load of intercepts in the first. The reason why that is it's play the ball first. It's make the mistake and then recover. And that is why Carlton's numbers in transition, which is interesting, an average of 14. The sides that lead that start, generally the sides that win the flag, there's a reason. Because if you're aggressive in your defence, you win games. You counter punch. You look at ball sports across the world at the moment, the tactics that are winning are counter-pressing, letting the opposition do the work for you because they commit numbers. Carlton were phenomenal about this. This is a really important stat as well for anyone who's a naysayer. We hemorrhaged inside 50s in the fourth, but the standout was Carlton's pressure, making one of the most accurate sides in the AFL, kick longer, and escape their short, sharp pan. Now, we talked about it. The Doggies are one of the best sides in the comp at handballing under pressure. They didn't do this in the fourth. They looked to kick less than 2 possessions inside 50 minus shots at goal. So that is huge, because if you saw when the Doggies scored, they love them short, sharp kicks, handballs inside 50 to better positions. We took that away. We made them go for goal. We made them put pressure on their kicking stats. That is amazing, because when Carlton had them numbers that the Doggies did in the third and the fourth, Carlton lose because they can't cope with it. This system showing it. The third and a huge takeout. An average pressure factor for the night of 198. Way over Carlton's average of 175 last year and 10 above the comp's average. That is huge. And that is why we won that game. The pressure around the ground is intense. It's sustainable. They ran it out for 4 quarters. And that wins you games. Like, people sometimes become so centre-focused on individual stats and stats for the game and how you're playing. Sometimes, the old saying my pop used to say to me, hard work beats talent, son, every day of the week. And that is it. They're working hard. I love this stat because I've slated Teague for it, but it was the one time that we won it and he mentioned it. But ground ball gets. The Irish show of... he was correct, the Irish show. You probably don't mention your show of effort, though, when you lose. Showing the willingness to be first to the ball and not play from in front of the ball. Traditionally, Carlton play in front of the man. They let the contest be given away and then they tackle. That is a staple of Teague's game. Being in position and letting you get the ball first and then you react. Carlton are reacting first now. They're getting there first. And that seems to be a real ethos in the Voss side, like he played. And the final one I really enjoyed was the spoil first mentality. In entries of the opposition and our own entries. Over marking, playing it to your Smalls, playing it to your Sards, playing it to your Williams, playing it to your Durdens, your Owens. A real standout there for me. Now, what I really enjoyed in this game as well was Carlton starting to evolve as a football team. You saw Hewitt, you saw the players start to get used to the peculiar leading patterns of Harry and Charlie. There was a lot of changes here. Harry going on half forward flank, being the outlet ball, particularly halfway through the second, where Carlton really struggled to exit D50. And it was a very smart move. Where you saw previous when that happened, he almost went back to half-back flank. He was the third kick out. So Carlton had to exit to utilise that safety blanket. An absolute shrewd moment of genius. We predicted it in the preview that you would see Oscar Mcdonald on Norton. He spent about 40-60 in favour there of Oscar Mcdonald before he went off. And that did free up McGovern, as we predicted, and Whittaker. It's a very clever move. It's an aggressive move. Now, one of my favourite things is we said that if Alex Keefe was on Harry for the night, or Charlie, they'd lose that game. He spent 92% of the time on Harry Mackay. And I said it on the live, if this happens on the watch-along, they're fucked. And they were, because it took away their freedom to intercept. This is a side now that is starting to get that respect from the AFL. And why it is because it's hard to play. It's no longer a soft touch. People are going to slate Lockie O'Brien for diving and staging that free kick. Fuck that. That is what an ugly side does. That's what a mean side does. You play within the rules, and that is within the rules. There's nothing against it. If that free kick is paid, it's totally legal. That gains you respect from the AFL quicker than giving the ball back and saying, nah, wasn't touched. That is a side that wins, that holds winning at all costs above everything else. And that's what champions do. People forget that. People think you can be a good champion. There's no such thing as a good champion. There's just a champion. If you're willing to do the things that you need to win, that's good. That shows a ruthless edge. I reckon Voss won't like it, to be honest. But I will say he will be proud that the boys are willing to put their neck on the line and look for things. And that was a really impressive thing. Big shout out to Mark PeterV. He gets a lot of stick, and we know that I've been a big lover of Mark PeterV. I like him. Gave us first use nearly all the time. And he's one bugbear is obviously his ability around the ground. Carlton started to find that happy medium in the third and the fourth. And I like that, what they're doing. If you look at the top sides, they get someone to roam and do the roaming around. TDK is very proficient at that, and I thought he nullified Tim English towards the end. Wow. PeterV killed him in the ruck. all in all, it's beautiful to be here. You know, you've got to think 3 years ago, we were getting battered. 2 wins in a year. People talking about sauce. It was falling off. And you're seeing now why a lot of us were confident and knew it would turn. And we're just waiting for the right thing. And Voss has instilled in these players to play to your strengths. Play within a system. Play within roles. You can't rely on top-end talent. What you can rely on, though, is your system. And you know what? I'm like a proud dad at the moment, seeing these blokes play to their potential and being allowed to play in a system, to be allowed to play a way that they deserve. This gentleman here, Cripps, thank Christ he stayed. And you know what? He's starting to bear the fruits of his sacrifice. Enjoy this, and the players have got to enjoy it. But more importantly, you guys and girls at home, you make doing what I do such a pleasure even when we lose. The love and the support and just being part of something so huge. So huge and something on a scale that you can't talk about in mental health, being together. So fucking ignore anyone who's saying keep a lid on it. Fuck them. Uncle Pom says fuck them. They can get in my DMs. Get out of your DMs. Enjoy it. You deserve it. They deserve it. We deserve it. We have been the whipping boys, the joke of this AFL competition for far too long. You know what? Fuck me, you enjoy something good when it happens. And you embrace it and you fucking keep it going. Because that's what these boys are doing. 2-0, they deserve it. Top of the ladder, they deserve it. People starting to get a bit offended by Carlton. Good. Good, because just think. You know, if you're an opposition fan, you're like, oh my God, Carlton are arrogant, I can't stand it. Think of the shit we've had to endure. You know what I mean? Just think of it. Because we deserve to be at the top of that mountain. Tell you. We deserve it. And we're going to enjoy our time there. You know what? I love you all. Love the club. Love this family. So proud of the boys and girls that make up this football club. Tune in and watch our boy Dom. He's going to be making his debut today. He may have an important gig as well if Oscar doesn't get up. He may be having to fast track his development. God bless him. Cheer him hard. Can't wait to do the preview. Go Blues and 2-0. 2-0. You won't believe it. We're 2-0. Enjoy your week. Love you all. Pop out.